The Testament of Dan. The seven sons of Jacob and Belha. Chapter 1. The seven sons of Jacob and Belha, the jealous one. So jealousy, Satan. He counsels against anger, saying that it gives peculiar vision. So now this is a word of wisdom given by Dan. So he's giving counsel to his towards the end of his life. This is a notable thesis on anger. The copy of the word of Dan, which he spoke to his sons in his last days, in the 125th year of his life. 2. He called together his family and said, "Hearken to my words, you sons of Dan, and give heed the words of your father." 3. I have proved in my heart and in my whole life that truth. So he say, I have proved in my heart and in my whole life that truth. So now it's like he repented. He turned his life back. He realized the error of his ways. So now he's giving counsel. I have proved in my heart and in my whole life that truth. With just dealing is good and well pleasing to God, and that lying and anger are evil. So just dealing is good and well pleasing to God. Similarly, Revelation 21 verse 7. And lying and anger are evil, because they teach men all wickedness. Similarly, Revelation 21 verse 8. I confess, therefore, this day to you, my children, that in my heart I resolved on the death of Joseph, my brother, the true and good man. I resolved on the death. So Haleare murderers. So he was really, really possessed by Satan. And I rejoiced that he was sold, because his father loved him more than me, more than us. Jealousy. So, for the spirit of jealousy and vainglory say to me, thou thyself also art his son. The spirit of jealousy and glory and vainglory say to me, thou thyself also art his son. Lwena ngwana ga Jacob wa Jacob. King Jacob rata Joseph hela lo one. So that's why he rejoiced when Joseph was sold. That's why he himself wanted to kill Joseph, his brother. And one of the spirit of Belial stirred me up. If you remember the names of Satans, Belial is one of the names. If you look into the dictionary of the angels, you'll see who he is. 7. And one of the spirit of Belial stirred me up, saying, take this sword, and with it slay Joseph. So shall thy father love thee when he is dead. America ka go rata o bolaile his favorite son. But Satan o mo raya le jaaka raile FRA nya ga se re gato ga ka jalo ngola star o ta swa ko ro ta nna bota kgona go itse molemo le bosula o nna bothale jaaka modimo. He lied in part, told truth in part. Here Belial is lying. The spirit of Belial stirred me up, saying, take this sword, and with it slay Joseph, so that thy father love thee when he is dead. Now this is the spirit of anger that persuaded me to crush Joseph as a leopard crushes a kid. A kid meaning like putzani. So a leopard crushes a kid. But the God of my father did not suffer him to fall into my hands, so that I should find him alone and slay him, and cause a second tribe to be destroyed in Israel. And now, my children, behold, I am dying. And I tell you a truth, you of a truth, that unless you keep yourself from the spirit of lying and anger. So The spirit of lying and anger belongs to Satan. And love truth and long suffering, you shall perish. So if you do not keep yourself from the spirit of lying and anger, you will perish. Revelation 21 verse 8. And love truth and suffering, Revelation 27 verse 21, Revelation 21 verse 7. Those who love truth and long suffering, those who endure suffering because of the truth and love of God, will get into the kingdom. Let me read it again. 10. And now, my children, behold, I am dying, and I tell you of a truth, that unless you keep yourself from the spirit of lying and anger, and love truth and suffering, you shall perish. For anger is blindness, and does not suffer one to see the face of any man with truth. For anger is blindness, and does not suffer one to see the face of any man with truth. For though it be a father or a mother, he behaved towards them as enemies. So when anger is in you, it blinds you. You don't see anything plainly as it is. You become delusional. You become blinded. Even your mother and your father, you don't trust them. You see them as always be against you. Not that they're against you, but that spirit is telling you that. 12. For though it be a father or a mother, he behaved towards them as enemies. Though it be a brother, he knoweth him not. Though it be a prophet of the Lord, he disobeys him. Though a righteous man, he regardeth him not. Though a friend, he does not acknowledge him. 13. For the spirit of anger encompasses him with the net of deceit, and blindeth his eyes. And through lying darkness his mind. And through lying darkness darkens his mind, and gives him its own peculiar vision. It's like it's on ka go tshwantshanya le o tsentse digalase tsa matho se itseng tsa gago. You see things tse dingwe di le gaufi di le kgakala, tse dingwe di le kgakala di le gaufi, kore your mind, your eyes ga di bone dilo jaaka di ntse di bona ka Satana batla gore di lebe ka teng. And wherewith encompass it with his eyes with hatred of heart, so as to envy of his brother. So you become envious because your heart is full of hatred. For anger is an evil thing. 15. My children, for it troubles even the soul itself. So when you are full of anger and hatred, your soul is always troubled. And the body of the angry man, 16, it makes its own, and over his soul it getteth the mastery. And the body of the angry man, it makes its own. So anger possesses the body of an angry man, and over his soul it getteth the mastery, and it takes control of your soul. It bestowed upon the body power that it may work all iniquity. So now you become very wicked. You become a very bad person. And when the 17, and when the body does all these things, the soul justifies that what is done, since it sees not. So your judgment become flawed, because the soul is on your reference point, but it's already mastered by anger. So Satan owns your soul. Therefore, it's not a good reference point of morality. 18. Therefore, he that is rough rough motho o galegileng mo tenego. If he be a mighty man, has a threefold power in his anger. One by the help of his servant, and the second by his wealth, whereby he pursued and overcomes wrongfully. And third, having his own natural power, he worketh thereby the evil. And though the wrathful man be weak, yet hath he a power twofold of that which is by nature. For wrath ever aideth such in lawlessness.
Wrath.
So wrath means extreme anger, rage, fury, annoyance, indignation, outrage. So that's the definition of wrath: anger, rage, fury, annoyance, indignation, and outrage. The spirit goes always with lying. So the spirit of anger goes always with lying at the right hand of Satan. The spirit goes always with lying at the right hand of Satan, that with cruelty and lying his works might be wrought or done. So when you are always angry, furious, know that lying is always at your lips, and you are at the right hand of Satan. You are honored by Satan. 21. Understand you, therefore, the power of wrath, that it is vain. For it first of all goeth provocation by word, then by this it strengthened him who is angry, and with sharp looses disturb his mind, and so stirs up with great wrath his soul. For it first of all gives provocation by word. So you are annoyed by anything. So and then you are provoked. When you perceive a certain way, you are provoked. So mostly it's provocation by word. And that makes you angry. And then you lose your mind, your thinking, and your soul convince you are justified in action. 23. Therefore, when anyone speaks against you, be not you moved to anger. So this is the advice. As an angry man, he's advising you, a man who at the end of more than 100 years of living, now is advising you as one that was possessed by anger as early as possible in his life. He's saying, therefore, when anyone speak against you, be not you moved to anger. When someone speak against you, do not get angry. And if any man praiseth you as holy men, be not be uplifted. Someone speak against you, do not get angry. Someone is praising you as being holy, do not be uplifted. Because be angry and be uplifted. Be uplifted is pride. So pride and anger belongs to Satan, the spirit of Satan. Be not moved either to delight or to disgust. If you delight, pride. If you disgust, go to anger also. 24. For first, it pleases the hearing, and so maketh the mind keen to perceive the grounds for provocation. And then, being enraged, he thinketh that he is justly angry. If you fall into any loss or ruin, my children, be not afflicted. If you fall into any loss or ruin, my children, be not afflicted. For this very spirit make the man desire that which is perishable, in order that he may be enraged through their afflictions. So I think this is the most important one to us. If you fall into any loss or ruin, loss, being disadvantaged, being provoked by words, being losing advantage on anything, being treated badly, my children, be not afflicted. Do not get angry. For this very spirit make a man desire that which is perishable, in order that he may be enraged through the afflictions. So all those disamalale, Revelation 21 verse 7, love and long suffering. So if you fall into loss and ruin, stay in love, endure, live through the suffering for Christ's sake, because the rewards are given to those who labor, and the suffering is the laboring to prove yourself worthy before God. And Satan knows that. So once you fall into any loss or ruin, he will be trying to, for his spirit, for this very spirit, make a man desire that which is perishable. So he will be offering an alternative. Beat him, tell him, show him or her that those are perishable things. They don't hold value in the eyes of God. So all these things will be doing so that in order that you may be enraged through the afflictions, instead of getting credit from the labor of your long suffering that we are enduring because of love. Now he wants you to get a quick fix to it that has no value to God. And if you suffer loss voluntarily or involuntarily, be vexed. Squaziana, you suffer loss. Wa latlhegelwa o itse or se ka go rata ga gago. Squaziana, for from vexation arise wrath with lying. So let's look the word vex. Vex makes someone feel annoyed, frustrated, worried, especially with trivial matters, the memory of the conversation. So annoying, irritate, infuriate, anger. So vex and wrath, I think they rhyme in terms of the meaning. So vex, wrath, it makes someone feel annoyed, frustrated, worried, especially with trivial matters, memory of conversations, annoying, irritate, infuriate, anger, incense, inflame, angry, annoyed. Moreover, a twofold mischief is wrath with lying. So if you are angry and also you are a liar, or you find yourself lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb the heart, those two, if lying and extreme anger, they disturb the heart. And when the soul is continually disturbed, the Lord depart from it. And once you lie, or you find yourself lying and angry, it disturbs your heart. And if you are continually, like it says, Matthew 6, right? So do not be angry until Zatelipirim. Why? Because when the soul is continually disturbed, the Lord departeth from that soul, from that heart, and Belial ruleth over it. Satan owns you. Okay, let's read it again. Moreover, a twofold mischief is wrath with lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb the heart. And when the soul is continually disturbed, the Lord departeth from it, and Belial ruleth over it. So, how re na tselong le ngora how te rapele a re robala be re tshware melato ya rona jaaka re tshwaretse ba melato le rona. What we are saying is, if you are continually angry and lying or sinning and not repenting, it disturbs your heart. And the word of God, the light of God, resides in your heart. And when your heart is disturbed, the soul is also continually disturbed. When your soul is continually disturbed, it can't praise God. It can't hold anything holy. Therefore, even God will move away from you, or you pull away from it. Remember, we talked about the guardian angel. Also, your guardian angel will distance himself from you or herself from you. So they become a gap between you and God, you and righteousness. And the only thing that will be taking a person always has a power as own. We naturally belong to God as spirits. That's why he's talking about the soul. But a spirit that is tainted by wrath and lying or sin in general darkens your heart and your soul, and you pull away from God, because darkness are the quality, lying, wrath are the quality of Satan. So it means Satan is taking over and he will rule over you. This seemed to be a bit longer, but okay.